Hey, alright. I'm gonna just do some work on Pi today. So, looks like this thing is working, so I will get to it. First up, I'm gonna merge this install command. Been in a review now for a little bit. Not had a huge amount of feedback, but that's okay. My goal for this is to start spreading the word a bit more. Once this is merged and we've got the FAR file and this version resolution, which I'll merge all of these in a moment. So, I should probably spread the URL somewhere at least, shouldn't I? Let's do that now. So I'm not just talking to myself, which I think I currently am. How do I do this? Options. No, get shareable link, that's what I want. And let's put this on social, PHPC social, on the Mastodon thing. Try and keep this chat window handy so I can see. Live chat. Go. Alright, I'm gonna get going now. Okay, I'll put the link out in a few places, so if you join, you join. If not, you might be watching this later. Welcome to my first stream. I'm not a big streamer, I just thought some folks might be interested in seeing what's going on with Pi, where we are with things. Mostly it's just going to be doing my normal work on Pi, and if you want to ask questions, feel free to in the chat. I'll try and keep an eye on that as I go along. I'll try and sort of talk through what I'm doing as well, just so folks can see what I'm up to. I should probably share this in the PHP Foundation channel as well. Okay. So, alright, I'm gonna start with merging this install command. It's been in review, as I mentioned, it's been in review for a few weeks now. I don't expect too many people to give it a go yet anyway, just because it's, you know, there's a few install steps. It's not just a case of grabbing the FAR file and running with it. That will hopefully be possible after this stream. Depends how far through I get with the work. So this needs to be ready for review before I can merge it. And let's merge it. There we go. That's the first step. So the other things we've got open at the moment, we've got a CI pipeline to build the FAR file. So that will be nice, because then we'll actually have a binary, it's not really binary, but a binary in quotes to distribute. And then people can actually start yeah, playing with it, I suppose. My streaming thing says that I'm streaming lower than the recommended bitrate, which is funny because when I tried this the other day, it said I was streaming higher recommended bitrate. Don't think I can change that on the fly, or at least I don't know how to. So you'll have to bear with me on that one. I'll try and adjust that next time. Hello, Gina. Welcome. I don't know how to... Can I do reactions here? I'll just do... I'm really good with YouTube, look. I have no idea what I'm doing. Wave. Oh, I can do like Discord. There we go. That was a remarkable amount of effort. Hi, Joe. Okay, so that's merged. The build may fail. I'm guessing that will fail, actually. The reason why this fails, and it's not ideal at the moment, is a lot of the version resolution stuff is not quite right at the moment, so hence this merge request here, pull request rather. Been working in GitLab too much, I'm calling them merge requests. But this this should hopefully resolve the issues that we're having, and I've also moved these around a little bit. However, the non-ideal, unideal? Not quite ideal thing here is that the test package that I'm using to sort of test against this, I keep adding more more versions, and so when I add a version, it will complain because the test will start failing. Because if I say, oh, this particular, maybe if I say this one, and then I do a new release that's compatible, obviously the expected version here is going to change, but that's a problem for another day. It's fine for now. It's not too, we don't have loads of contributors. It's mainly just me working on this at the moment. So it's something I will deal with in due time. So I do suppose this will fail. Oh, it's taken a while for the pipeline anyway. So while I wait for that anyway, I'm gonna just update my local. Oops. So I've got my remote. So I need to fetch from the upstream. And reset hard origin. Nope. Upstream main. So we've merged that, and then I'm quite a fan of rebasing things so they're always up to date. So I'm going to do that with this far pipeline one. Oh, I've got this signing key. Did I add that? I'm going to do that in another window, just so I don't accidentally reveal any secrets. So I don't think you can actually see the secrets once you put them in rather. No, I didn't put that in. Okay. Well, that's not going to work very well. I'll have to do that later then. Okay, that's fine. In the meantime, I'll rebase this one then. So this is hopefully the one that will fix the version resolution then. Check out resolution. Ooh, I don't want that. And then we rebase onto main. That looks fine. There's 4 commits. Signing key is 1, 2, 3, 4. Conflict. Alright, well, this should be fun. What do I changed in these branches then? Let's use PHP Storm's conflict resolution. I quite like that as a tool. Git solve conflicts. Let's have a look. What have I been changing? So on main, we've added an extension type value object. So this bit looks like we're conflicting now. So I see. So we've added this bit in our current branch where we're improving the version resolution. I say we, it's me, but I don't know. We always say, "Oh, we've done this." Absolve myself of responsibility, eh? Alright, so let's push these changes in, and I think we just need to change that if there. Yeah, that looks about right. If I do this, is that just going to ruin everything? No, that'll do what I want it to do. And then we don't need that line anymore. And then that matches up. That's just the additional change that I've made here. Cool, that should be resolved now. So it's quite fun sort of diving into Composer and how it's not some people might have heard the term SAT solver, maybe they don't really know what it means, but it's not the dependency resolution that we're trying to do, or we're trying to use in Pi. We're not necessarily trying to resolve dependencies. It's a very small part of it. What we're actually trying to do is just parse the version that you give or don't give on the command line. So when you run what will be when you run the far file, you would do install xdebug, for example. And if you just do that, we need to basically find whichever is the latest compatible version on your system. So really the only dependency resolution that Pi does is for your platform, not other packages. Because we want to make sure it works on your PHP version. And if by some chance a dependency has added another extension as a dependency, I think that should conflict because it's a platform requirement. And we have dependency, resolve dependency with Composer. So one of the things I'd got wrong initially, just because I was possibly couldn't see the wood for the trees at the time, but I've come back and looked at this with fresh eyes. One of the things I got wrong initially was I was trying to set the preferred stability instead of the minimum stability. So that's now changed, and when you create what's called a repository set in Composer, you give it a minimum stability, which if you've ever set that in your Composer JSON, you'll see that is an option, and you can set your minimum stability to dev or alpha, beta, they're there, or stable, the default being stable. Put some extra handling in there. For example, if you request :dev main, for example, I don't know if that's a valid branch for xdebug, but just for instance, we pick up on the fact that you've written dev there, and try and guess your minimum stability based on that. The rest of it is mostly just using Composer's API for a version selector. So we give it a repository set, which is kind of like saying, these are the possible dependencies you can get. It's the default one that comes with Composer, which uses packages, right? That's what we're trying to find. And then, with this we convert what we've got in Pi is a target PHP, which is basically the path to your PHP executable that you want to use, because you can use Pi to install an extension for another PHP version that exists on your machine as such. So that is possible with Pi, but and on Linux machines we also need the PHP config path, as that tells us where to put extensions and things like that in a much easier way. Anyway, going back to what I was saying, the resolve target to PHP platform repository, that will basically create this thing that works out what composer repositories you want for this. So that's where that comes into play. And we find the best candidate. Again, that's something Composer shows out, provides out the box. And then this had me puzzled for a while, where if you say, oh, I want to install a specific commit, like ABC1234, whatever, git sha that you want to put in there, it wouldn't work. And I spoke to the Composer folks, and it turns out that there's some special handling for that. So we had to put in special handling here, and that's fine. We just say, well, if you've got a commit hash there, then we replace the reference that we're going to download. And that's an API provided by Composer anyway. So that's nice. We get that sorted. So that was what was wrong with the dependency resolution. Let's see if that has built now. It's going through it now. As I suspected, yeah, some of these tests will fail just because yeah. So we're expecting 1.1.0 alpha 4. It's got a beta version because since this I've added the beta version which was in this branch. So let's finish off that rebase then after that slight segue. Okay. So now that conflict should be gone, and we can push that. Hopefully we'll get a passing build now. I'm glad things are building now. They seem to be stuck for a while. What did it get stuck? It got stuck for 4 minutes or something. 6. Oh, it doesn't tell me the queue time. Oh well. No biggie, no biggie. Alright, so we're building now. And yeah, so this is the change that we're talking about. Sit back and wait for the CI now. Let's see if I can set that secret key in the meantime without revealing anything on stream. That could be interesting, couldn't it? Let's get a new tab, shall we? Touch. I'll do this off screen, so I'm hopefully not revealing anything. Okay. And I want to export my key. I never remember the GPG commands, so there it is. That's the one we want. Command GPG output, where it all goes wrong, and I reveal it on stream. Then I'll have to make a new one. Okay. Okay, so I've got private key, and I will put that in a secret. And it needs to be in a repository secret. Sorry, I know this is not particularly interesting. Just remember the name of it. That is the name of it. to give it that. Almost done with this bit. Okay. I think that's in now. So we'll see whether that works. And now I need to remove that file. Close that window. Okay. Should be all good now. We shall see. This is doing its thing. GitHub is being slow today. Getting not picked up by the preferred runner. Try requesting additional runners. How do I request an additional runner? Give me more runners, yo. Who knows? So in the meantime, actually, we can have a look at this bit of feedback I had last week. So one of the changes that I'm trying to make in this merge pull request is to I mentioned the value object that represents a PHP binary path earlier, i.e. the path to your PHP. Previously, I just left a to-do in when we create this. So let's have a look at this code now. Oops, spell today. I don't want the branch. Give me more runners, yo. I don't know how laggy that chat is. This was a while ago, so I guess there's a 30-second or so lag. So if I don't reply to you straight away, I apologise. So let's have a look at this one. So I'd added some validation to the constructor. We just do some very basic checks. Check that the file exists, checks it's executable, check that it looks like we're running PHP. It's not a very comprehensive test here, but I think it's good enough. It's not really a security check as such, because I don't think it's too critical to have that, but we can always change that if need be. That said, the feedback that I had was that, well, maybe you want to create an invalid PHP binary path for some reason. Maybe testing purposes, instance of be able to create an instance without caring whether it's valid or not, or for performance reasons where you know it's already valid. So I think what I'm going to do here is I'll take this code and I'll make it private for now. We can always expose that if we need to. And we give it this parameter. Like this. Don't need to copy that. And we'll just be able to validate any PHP binary path, I suppose, not just the one being constructed. I don't know if it's useful at public API at the moment. And pretty much everything in Pi is marked internal anyway, just because we don't really know what we want the public API to be at the moment. It's much easier to add more public API than it is to add a load of public API and then need to maintain that for backwards compatibility. So I'd rather just keep everything locked down, at least for now. And as integrators, if we even get any integrators, right? This is meant to be an end user executable. I keep saying executable, it's not executable. So self is, that's what I was going to do. Not put it in the constructor. So that in theory would allow you, again, private constructor, fine. In theory, that would allow you to create an invalid one. I got... Yes, I thought I did. Right. So we have... is valid Oh, I suppose we can make this an assertion, can't we? That would make more sense. Oh, it is an assertion. I just named it wrong. Assert valid. I'm going to call it slightly vaguer. Assert valid looking PHP binary. Give it a non-empty string and we return void. Is there any reasonable assertions that we can put into this? I wonder. All exists. So the Web Mozart library doesn't have any assertion annotations for this. Is there an executable one? Probably nothing interesting we can do with annotations there. That's okay. We don't need the void one. That's duplicate, so we can collapse that. And then, where was I? So we want to make sure that's a valid looking PHP binary. Same here. And same here. That looks good. So the three ways that we currently expose to creating our path to a PHP are all now asserting using this. And in theory, we could at some point expose a way of saying, hey, I already know this is valid, whatever. But doesn't matter for now. It just gives us that flexibility later down the line, I think. So, valid looking PHP binary assertion into a private assertion method. That'll do, close enough. Do we want to rebase this yet? I wonder if that other build has passed yet. Nice. Okay, so that's passed now. That's what I would expect for this. This is a nice improvement, I think, to the version resolution. It fixes this previously reported error, and also means we can now install a specific commit. At least on a Linux type system. See, Linux type, that includes OS X, I suppose. Anywhere where we build. So just for some context for anyone watching, there are two main ways of building with Pi, or installing rather with Pi. One on a Windows system where we look for a pre-compiled binary. So that's more or less the same as the way Peckle works at the moment. There is scope for future to be able to compile a Windows binary, but it's not currently what we're planning, maybe in the future. And then on anything non-Windows, so you'll see in the code base there's not that one, operating system. Isn't Windows and non-Windows essentially. So non-Windows are going to be Linux, OS X, anything that uses the normal way of compiling PHP. So your PHPIs make install. PHPIs configure make install steps. So that's where we are with that. So anyway, this means that in theory you can install a specific version commit of any extension on a non-Windows system. So let's merge this then, because that's a good improvement, I think. I know that was a bit of a sort of a talking point about, I have to make a tag to actually test this thing as an extension maintainer. I'd have to create a tag, which a couple of extension authors had done just to sort of help along the process, and I appreciate those that did, because it meant I had a few other packages, a few other extensions that I could test with than just the example by extension that I've made available. Obviously that doesn't do anything, it's not a useful extension, so it's nice to have a couple of real extensions that I can actually play around with now. I'm interested as to where this number comes from. I'm assuming that this is from people trying to install with Composer, because and the reason for that is the Packagist or Composer folks have asked us to put install stats into Packagist, because the way we're doing it at the moment, it won't give any install stats. So that's something we'll add at some point in the future, but isn't there at the moment. So those downloads, I am guessing, are from people trying to install this thing with Composer. And same here. Since it's now on Packagist, in theory, yes, you can just install it. So if I do Composer xdebug, xdebug doesn't have a stable version yet. Hang on. I can't remember the command for this. That one. Oh no. Start at dev. I think that's right. Yeah. So in theory, you can download and install xdebug into your vendor directory, but it doesn't do anything useful, so it's kind of a bit pointless. It literally just downloads the source code. Not particularly helpful. Maybe that's an improvement we can contribute upstream to Composer, just to say, hey, this is a PHP ext type package. We know that because if I go to sample, we know that because we have a new type, which is a special type reserved for extensions, and also there's PHP ext Zend, which is for a Zend module, Zend extension. The correct terminology for all of this, by the way, is a PHP module and a Zend extension. Zend extensions tend to have more, how can I put this simply, more ways of hooking into the engine, and PHP modules, which most people just refer to them as extensions. Anyway, but that's where the name comes from. Anyway, so Composer picks up on, or Packagist specifically, picks up on this special type, and that's how it gets listed on this page. And also I noticed that it gives you a PyInstall command, but that doesn't really work at the moment because Py doesn't exist as a file file, which is obviously one of the goals today. Hopefully we'll have this ready soon. So I'm going to merge the oh, I did merge. Okay, nice. So yeah, that's still building. I'm not going to wait for that because the runners seem to be slow today. I mean, it is Monday, right? I know it's Tuesday. It's okay. Okay, so git checkout main, git fetch upstream, git reset hard upstream main, and then we'll do checkout that, git rebase main. Oh, there's a conflict again. Always with the conflicts. What have I changed? Let's have a look. Resolve conflicts. Let's have a look. Right, so let's just do all the conflicting ones from, or non-conflicting, rather, ones from main. I'm actually going to just ignore both of these because these will be tidied up by PHP Code Sniffer anyway. Yes, that is now Oh, that's a non-conflicted. I'll just look at that. Oh, none of them actually conflicted. Oh, I see what conflicted. It was that I ignored earlier. Okay, fine. So now we can just do vendor bin PHP. Oh, I should probably do who's installed just to make sure I've got anything latest, and do vendor bin PHP CBF to fix those issues. And we should see, yeah, it added a bunch of them for us, so we don't have to think about that. I like tools. Tools make life a lot easier. And that's nice. Okay. It was just the coding style stuff. Oh, I didn't actually apply that on the last one, did I? I bet there's an invalid code over it. No, we're all good. And just run Psalm as well. Oh, we're all good. All right. Oh, we'll leave the runners to figure out if I broke the tests. Hopefully not. Been trying to add lots of nice tests to these things. Right, so I've resolved this. Updated in that commit. Oh, right, it adds that link automatically now. Okay. Fair enough. Never used to do that, but it has done that. That's interesting. So it's doing its thing now. Oh, look, have we got? It seems to be catching up now. That's nice. Yeah, that took a while. 12 minutes. I think the normal time, yeah, on previous days it's been about 2 minutes. Oh, that one took a while. 21 minutes. Wow. Yeah, I'm not sitting around waiting for runners. That's I can do better things with my time. But that's why CI is great, right? Oh, we failed already. Oh no. Let's have a look. What have we failed on? Oh. I wonder if something's going on with GitHub today. Status.github. Is that a thing? GitHubstatus.com. It says it's all running, but it's gateway timeout. That's certainly coming from GitHub, isn't it? That's not anything I've done, I don't think. Yeah, on that job as well. These are all not very happy. Oh. Might not be so good for the stream if I can't actually get anything merged. Because all the builds failing. Right, so I've added that now. This should be added now. So this, I don't think I've changed any code. Because of that, I'm just going to merge this straight off. Because there shouldn't be any conflicts with this. Because it's not code changes. It's like CI stuff. We added a box configuration. Nothing interesting in the box configuration yet. It is what it is. So let's merge this then. And then we'll start getting far files as build artifacts, which is nice. Getting emails about the builds failing. Yeah, are you sure about that, GitHub? I don't think it is operational, you know. Anyway, let's just go to my fork. And what am I looking? Why have I gone to my fork? Why did I want to go to my fork? Thrilling viewing this makes for, and I've forgotten everything. Oh, I was going to look at what branches I had, because I'm pretty sure I've forgotten to delete some of them as I've merged them. That's version right, that's merged. Okay. was an experiment with the Composer installer. I mentioned earlier that the only part of Composer really we're using is the bit that determines what actual version matches the requested version. And rather than doing full dependency resolution, which we don't really need to do, we just say, hey, given given tilde 1.0.1, give me a compatible version, and that's all we really use in Composer. I did talk through this with some the Composer folks who were very helpful, and sort of there is a more holistic approach to using Composer itself, in that you use the installer, you give it a request to install, and it will just go and do all of the things, including download, and it gives you hooks where you can install things, and hooks for plugins and all that kind of stuff. That said, the approach we've gone for is a little simpler at the moment, but I did kind of leave that code up there just so we can refer back to it later if we want to. So I guess we just got to retry this build then, I suppose. I don't know what's up with this. It doesn't look very healthy, does it? Rerun them. Because there's not a lot else we can do if GitHub is broken. This might be a very uninteresting stream at the end of the day. Yeah, no, it's looking very healthy, is it? GitHub status. Yeah, it definitely says it's running, but oh, it's going. It had a bit of a retry. Let's see how the rest of the pipeline goes. I'm hoping this is all good now. Hopefully we can merge this. And at that point, we've got we've got a way of distributing the very basic functionality of Pi. So what I mean by that is I'll need to go to actions. Oh, that's the oh, that's not going to do anything then, is it? Because that's all failed. But there is an additional build job that, had everything else succeeded, it would have been possible to see the FAR file. I think it gets attached on the CI log. We also have a separate one for when you make a release. In fact, I can show you that on my fork. When you make a release, it should attach the FAR file here. And that stuff is all provided out of the box by Box, which is very nice. Or a lot of that stuff, rather. And some folks that use Box and work on Box helped me with that. But honestly, it was super simple, which was very nice. Very nice to use. It's failed again. Oh, that's... Have I broken something? I might have broken something now, actually. It's not executable. Well, it is on my machine. Works on my machine. What are you on about? Yeah, so that's interesting. Why did this not fail before? Maybe it did. So if I look at, what is this? Test unit assets. Oh, just test assets. Fake. Yeah, so I've committed that as executable, but I guess that doesn't carry across on Windows. Okay, alright. I have to boot on my Windows machine, aren't I? Start. Ah, Windows, yes. Pi being the only project that I ever have to actually boot Windows for. Because it does need to work on Windows. We can't forget there's a fair amount of devs still using. There's a fair amount of devs using Windows, and you need to be able to use. Why is this so big? Okay, very good. Oh, Windows, why are you so annoying me? Come on. Need to make the... That's better. That's better. Yeah, okay, stop nagging me. Oh, I need to upgrade VirtualBox. Okay. Okay. So, if I remember how to do this... What am I trying to do? I'm trying to run the tests, aren't I? So I've got a mounted drive. PHP Foundation. Alright. Do I need to install the Composer dependencies? Or it'll work the same. Doesn't matter about the platform for them, does it? Vendor bin PHP unit. I know I need to pick a PHP version, don't I? Which is PHP 8.3. Yes. PHP vendor bin. No. PHP unit. That's what I'm looking for. I know what I'm doing. This is much slower. I mean, it's running in a VM, so it's to be expected. Let's go. Okay. Which test are we actually failing on? Can we just limit it to this one? That might be quicker. How do I run that? There we go. Right. Filters that test. No, that didn't copy it. Control C, Control V. There we go. You're right. It is not executable. Oh, interesting. Okay. Hang on. That's not the error I thought it was. Let's look at the code. Let's look at the code instead of just trying to guess what's going on here. PHP binary path. Let's go to the test that's failing, which is that one. So we're expecting... Does not appear to be a PHP binary. So we've given it... we've given it something I thought would be executable, but isn't. Okay, right. Oh no, not Linux, I want Windows. And... Never think. How do I see if files are executable on Windows? Test. Assets. Oh, I need to use backslash, don't I? Okay, now I'm stumped, because of course Windows doesn't have executable bits. So, when... this is an interesting one. When I run... is executable... have a look at the docs. Whoa. Okay, chill out. PHP is executable. I wonder if it says anything about this. I wonder... Windows, see the note below. Okay. Yeah, my hunch was potentially right. A Windows file is considered executable if it is a properly executable file as reported by get binary type. BC reasons files with a BAT or CMD extension are also considered executable. Prior to PHP 7.4.0, a non-empty file with a .exe was considered, or .com is considered executable. Right. So on Windows, my test file, which is just, I think it's an empty file that's executable. Oh, I made a bash script. Okay. I tell you what then, if we can use the .bat trick, yeah, let's do that. So, fake PHP windows.bat. And just do rem that. I can't remember how to write batch files. Is it print? Does that work? Let me just double check that. In Windows, there we go. So if I go test assets fake PHP windows.bat. Is it just echo? Have I overcomplicated my things for myself? Yes. Okay. All right. Print does something else. I suppose that maybe something to do with actually printing things. Nice. Okay. So we'll make that for Windows. We don't even need that comment. So that should now pass that test, but we need to change the test for... okay. Alright, so we've got a fake. It's only used once anyway. Okay. Fake non-Windows PHP executable and the fake Windows PHP executable. And we can just check. Platform is Windows. Fake PHP non-Windows, and then if we're Windows, just replace that self fake Windows 1, and then pass that to our function, and then let's run that again, which is that one. Interesting. Okay, that didn't do what I thought it would do. Why is that? It's just using that one. It doesn't think we're Windows, maybe? Just make a silly change. Yeah, okay, that's not affecting the test. I'm running the same test, right? Let's look for obvious user errors. Test invalid, PHP binary is rejected. Test invalid, PHP binary is rejected. So I'm running the right test. Oh, yes. User error. I didn't replace the actual path. That's why it didn't look at foo. There we go. Let's try that again. Okay. .sh be .batch in it. Let's just click that. It does open. Okay, so PHP Storm thinks it's real now, so hopefully my test does too. No, it doesn't. It's not executable either. Okay. Let's just throw in something else here. Cert executable? No. Is executable self fake Windows? No. Fake Windows PHP executable. Well, I'm following the docs now. It says, hang on, let me just read this carefully. On Windows, a file is considered executable if it is a properly executable file as reported by the Windows API getBinary type. For backwards compatibility reasons, files with a .bat or .cmd extension are also considered executable. Unless the documentation's wrong, but just want to check the path. I think we're using the path here. We're using an absolute path. And it does exist because the previous check that before this is executable is that the file exists. So it knows the file exists. We're sure that the file is there. Fake PHP Windows. Oh, that's interesting actually. When I had this wrong earlier, it was giving me a different error, right? Well, that's gonna... I didn't take that assertion out, did I? Does not exist. Okay, yeah, well that's expected. Okay. No, oh wait. I want to do fake PHP Windows.bat. PHP binary there, so it's now happy that it exists, but it's not executable, even though it ends in .bat. What you do in PHP? The docs say one thing, but it's not doing the thing that I expect. Have a look at PHP. Have a look at the code that does this then. Maybe the docs are wrong on this. Maybe there's something's changed about it. Okay. PHP source. 1839. Okay, fine. That's a reasonable enough tag, I think. So we want to find is executable. What are you doing? Is executable? These are all PHP tests. This is far. I don't want far. That's a test. Okay, let's just. I don't know where the code for is executable is. Is it in the? Maybe it is there. It is in the standard library. Okay. File, Windows, ACLs. Links, ACL, MB path. But I don't know what all these mean. These are really. Oh yeah, I know what these bug numbers are off by heart. Hi, Batman. Bat? Yeah, it's a bat. Hi, Brunty. Welcome. Is executable. Is executable. I just saw it there. Basic. Right. Basic functionality is executable. So this test will create a file. So, okay. So Chmod works on Windows. You can tell my knowledge of how PHP runs on Windows is severely lacking here. So this is all new information for me. So Chmod works on Windows. So I'm assuming that PHP has some abstraction layer to catch that. I don't really know, to be honest, how that works. But then it does say it's executable. Windows.bat. Yes, quite. That's why you put a bat. Yes, a bat file. Yeah. Now it all becomes clear. Thank you, Brunty. And Marco Pivetta has joined the stream. Hi, welcome, Marco. Well, I suppose. Are any of these true? None of these are true. You don't go to 777. Oh gosh. Oh, it's Octal, isn't it? Okay. So we want to go through all of the modes, and none of them will ever be executable. So maybe is executable just never returns true on Windows? Because that's certainly what this test seems to indicate. Yeah. Okay, so is executable is just never true on Windows. Is I think what I get from that. Interesting. Interesting indeed. So in that case, I can't really do this test on Windows as such. So let's get rid of that. Let's get rid of that nonsense that I've added. Absolute nonsense. Oh, I've deleted that constant as well. Okay. Delete that file. I think what we can probably do is in this assertion, if we're not on Windows, I wonder if we'd even need to do that check, you know, because we're executing it in the next step. So, you know, why, you know, if it's not going to execute, then that will fail anyway. Let's prove that concept. I mean, the only added benefit actually here is that we get a nicer error message that's more precise, perhaps. Let's see what it does. Let's see what it actually does if we try this. So, on Linux, let's do remove executable from test assets fake PHP. And then run our test. Invoked command cannot execute. Permission denied. Yeah, that's roughly what I'd expect, but the exception just isn't quite as nice. You know, the message is slightly nicer. Git restore test assets fake PHP, and then put that back in. So the exception there would be, well, it's this one. The PHP binary at the given path is not executable, so it actually tells you more explicitly. But we can't do this on Windows. Okay, fine. So I guess we can do something like that. If it's not Windows and it's not executable, check it. Oh, I'm running the test here, aren't I? So that should still pass on Linux now, and let's run that on Windows. Did that actually do what I thought it would do? Who knows? We shall see. Oh. Okay, oh yeah, that's doing what it's supposed to do. Interesting, it popped up another window there. As it's... what part is running that? I'm assuming this? No, surely not. Surely not. We just do this. Maybe it does. Well, that could be interesting. Let's run the unit test suite then in Windows. Did I name the suite? This is slightly slower than I remember it. I'm sure I just eliminated a load of the slow tests and put them away. Maybe it's just because I'm running in a VM. Hey, look at the test popping up. Oh, wait. What is this happening? What is going on? What am I opening? I don't even know what I'm about to open. This is a PHP file. This is opening. I don't think this matters. I think I'm just getting distracted here. I think it may be that one of these tests is just opening a shell somewhere. Not sure. PHP binary at there does not appear to PHP contains is not executable. Test non-executable PHP binary is rejected. Of course, that test is not going to work on Windows now. Which is no. Come on, select. Enter it. Enter is copy in Windows, of course. Non-executable. Okay, so we want to skip this for Windows, don't we? Platform is Windows. Self mark. Test skipped. Is executable always returns false on Windows? It seems. Despite the docs saying that, so I think the docs and that test has a bit of a mismatch. Although that's not trying it with a .bat file, that's just calling file.inc. Is there any .bat files? .bar? .bat? .bat? Windows. There isn't any tests for a .bat. Interesting. Let's look at the code, see if there's some weird condition that I'm missing. I'm assuming it's in file.c. Executable? No. Alright, let's just do a little search for this one. Is executable. Stub. Arginfo. I want the C. File stat. No, is executable. Oh, this is interesting. File function. PHP stat. Stat file, stat file. I'm not sure anything is relevant to what I'm looking at. Brunty says there's a note on the PHP doc that is executable. It mentions Windows and a bat. That's exactly what I was trying to take advantage of. Yeah, that's what I'd done perhaps just before you joined. I tried to create a .bat file and get it to be executable. But this doesn't seem to hold true. So that's why I was trying to find the actual code for this. And now I've lost PHP. I've lost C-line. Oh, I didn't mean to close that. Oh gosh, and now it's all going horribly wrong. Executable. PHP function is executable. I can't click through to that. Do some searching. These are all tests. That's just the stub for it. That's not particularly interesting. Then function, so we define it there. That makes sense. So there's some weird file function wrapper macro thing. So it is this PHP stat, okay. There's nothing to tell me that. There's no mention of bat at all here. PHP stat. So you'd think that it would be here. I think I'm just going down a bit of a rabbit hole here. I'm gonna work on the assumption that the docs are wrong. I'm gonna write some notes here. Right, I've lost my docs. That's what I closed earlier. Is executable. That's the window I want. Alright. I'm going to copy this. Because otherwise I'll come back to this and be like, I've completely forgotten what this is all about. Why have I skipped this test for Windows? According to the docs, I'll link to the docs. Oh, I can't write Markdown here, can I? I need to do at link. I think it is, if I remember rightly. I'll do 4 indentations instead. However, that does not seem to be the case. Calling is C is executable. This seems to return false, even with a .bat file. We can come back to that. It's not a big problem, this one, I don't think. We've written it down now. So someone can come along later and say, no, actually, James, you were wrong. It does work. You were just being silly and got it wrong. Okay. Before we do anything, let's just do some coding standards. And I should probably run the test, shouldn't I? That's what I was supposed to do. Oh, I did. Did I run the test? Oh, yes, I did run the test. Okay, good. That's always a good start. I'm not very good at using Windows. There we go. So we're good there. Good there. Skip those tests and so on. Okay. What have I committed on this branch? Skip the is executable test. Check. That's an assertion, isn't it? Assertion for Windows. It seems to always be false. Hopefully someone can write in and say, hey, this is how you do it. We shall see. Alright, push. Oh, I can rebase now, can't I? So this is the last merge request, pull request that I've got open at the moment. So let's just update our main. Fetch upstream. Git reset. Hard upstream main. That looks about right. So git checkout check. If that and rebase that onto main. There's 3 commits that I've done. Git push. Force with lease origin check if given PHP binary is valid. Okay, let's see if GitHub is playing nicely yet. Still says it's up, so we'll see. We'll see if it's actually being up. It started working again, didn't it? Actually, I remember now. It's going. It's going. It's going. Okay. Good. Anyone's not seen this before. This is Laminus continuous integration action. It's one of a nice couple of GitHub actions that the Laminus project actually provides. This one being a way of just not having to define a CI pipeline really at all. It's pretty much just we got some special Windows stuff, but you pretty much just add something like that, and it will look at your dependencies and be like, oh, you're using PHP-CS and PHP-Stan, so I'll run those, and it generates the pipeline for you, which is cool. I really like this. I like things that make your life easier. So this one, it's detected. Oh, I've got PHP CodeSniff, PHP Unit, and SARM in this case. So it runs all of those. I had to define the Windows ones manually, but I mean that's not particularly taxing anyway. And yeah, then we've got the far one anyway. So that seems a bit greener now. That's nice. It's just doing the last Windows test, and we've got a far building. Hopefully that'll work now. We should see, I think, if this works, when it works. I think we should see a far file attached to this what do we call this? Action result page? Summary page, I think that's probably called. Okay, it's running. It's doing a thing. It's doing it. There we go. It's done the thing. It's done the thing. There we go. There we go. So this is the first working far. Made history. All right, there we go. There's a far file. In theory, we can download that and Yeah, let's do that now. If I just do, let's move that pi. Let's move it to here. Oh, it's in a .zip file. Yeah, that annoyed me. I don't know why I think GitHub does that. It forces you to do that. Why that? Okay. So now if I do PHP pi.file version, I don't know. I've just done devmain. I'm not bothered with the version just yet. Doesn't really matter. What are the commands? Download. So if I do download xdebug, it should tell me no. Because the minimum... So this is actually something we could do with improving... Hang on. Windows is binging at me. Huh. Windows is binging at me. That's a joke and a half. Why are you binging? Alright, I'm going to shut you down now. I'm done with you. Go away. Configuring Windows. What? I just want to shut the computer down. Oh, gosh. Anyway, as I was saying, if I do this, just xdebug, this won't do anything yet. So if you were on this stream earlier, you probably know this now. Packages, extensions. You'll see that if we look at xdebug's page, there is only alpha versions, because that was a requirement earlier. Now it shouldn't be a requirement anymore, that there is a tagged version of an extension for it to actually work. Which is nice, because I should now be able to install even a specific commit, or just like the latest dev main, whatever. So if I now do :dev main, oops, can I spell it right? This should download. Oh. Thought that would have worked. Have I broken everything? xdebug :dev main. I don't need to put @dev, do I? Oh, hang on. I know why. Yeah, it's because the branch is called master, not main. That's why. There we go. So now we can see it's downloaded the latest BE05, which is indeed the latest commit. So that's nice. I'm very pleased that that improvement is in. And in fact, you could install a slightly older version should you want to. But let's do that one, for example. And I think, let me remember how you do this. Can I just do dev master hash that? Oh, that might have commented it on my... Oh no, it did work. Oh, that's nice. Okay. I just realised that's a bash comment in it, isn't it? But that worked. Downloaded AD. That's cool. Alright, so that's doing what I wanted it to do now. That's always good. So this is all nice and green. So we can merge this now. That's cool. I've achieved what I wanted to achieve on the stream today. So I'm actually gonna call it a day here. I just wanted to do a quick sort of test stream, if you like. I think we've had about 3 or 4 people watching, and I may do this again in the future. What I like about this is I like being able to share the work I'm doing, but I work on so much NDA covered work. I can't always stream this, and it's been wanting to. It's something I've been wanting to do for a while. Is kind of just share how I work on things and see how it goes. So hopefully this is enjoyable, and if you're watching this back afterwards, hopefully it wasn't too dull or anything. Let me know your thoughts. If you want to see me do more of these, just let me know. You don't have to like and subscribe or something. I'm not really too bothered about that. But thank you everyone for tuning in, or watching later if you do, and let me know if you'd like to see more. Thank you very much, folks, and speak to you later.